Alright, so today's lesson is on elapsed time. Now, I don't want you to write this part. I just want you to listen and I want you to watch how I solve it. And I will tell you what parts that are going to help you when you are doing your assignments. So first, let's read our problem. Elapsed time, it means how much has passed. How much time has passed. So elapsed just means how much time has passed. All right, Dora and her brother spent 1 hour and 35 minutes doing yard work. They stopped for lunch at 1:20 p.m. At what time did they start doing yard work? All right, so I want to, so our question is, at what time did they start doing work? So what do we know? Oh, that pen. All my pens are running out, boys and girls. All right. So we want to know what time they started doing the work. We know what time they ended because the word stopped is at 1:20. So we know they stopped at 1:20. So we know that our end point right here is going to be 1:20 p.m. We need to find, I'm going to use my line on my paper, we need to find the beginning time. We need to find where they started. There's one more piece of important information that we need there. We need to know that they spent 1 hour and 35 minutes. Okay, so we're going to use a numbered line like this instead of a round clock. So what we're going to do is every line is going to be 5 minutes. So we are going to go backwards and we're going to do our big lines by, so every line is 5 minutes. So that's 1:15, 10, 5, and then that's 1. Okay, so this is, and if you want to write it, this is 1:15, 1:10, 1:05, and then 1. Oops, sorry, I smeared it. Okay, so then we have to keep going back. So then so let's keep going back. So there's 12:55, 12:50, 12:45, 12:40, 12:35, 12:30. And then we're going to keep going back. So remember, these are all worth 5. So we want to go for at least, we need to go to 1 hour, and that's 60 minutes. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Not quite yet. So there's 12:25, 12:20. So let's make sure that's an hour. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So that is 1 hour. Okay, so we've got our 1 hour. Now we need to go for 35 minutes. Okay, so then we've got to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Because now we want to go by 5. So there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So now we got to count our time. So we stopped at an hour that was 12:20. So if we count back by 5s, so that would be 15, 12:15, 12:10. We've got 05, 12:05, and then we go 12. We're running out of room. Okay, so after 12, we keep going by 5, so that means it's 11:55, 11:50, and then 11:45. So we went back 1 hour from 1:20 to 12:20, and then we counted back by fives. 15, 10, 5, then it was 12, 55, 50, 45. So that means our start time was 11:45 a.m. So this is how you use a timeline. There are other ways that we can use it. There is another way that you can use it if you just want to look at your clock and you want to do your 12, your 6, your 3, and your 9. This one is only going to be if you know how to draw your hands. If we don't know how to draw our hands, we're going to have to use the timeline. The trickiest part of this lesson is drawing your line and making sure you number it correctly. But we will practice together. So if we did this and we were at 1:20, so how I would do with this one is that I was 1 hour, so I'd go back 1 hour, which would be, so if I go back 1 hour, that means it is no longer, it would be 12:20 is 1 hour, and then I'd have to go back and count my 35 minutes, which would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And that means we passed the hour again, so that means that would be 11:45. So there's a couple ways that you can do it. We're going to practice some more with our number line here. And sometimes you have to pay attention to if you are going forward or if you're going back. So this is what time they stop, so you know this is the end. You need to find your start time. That's how you know you need to count backwards. If it flipped it, if it gave you the start time and you had to find out the end time, then you would jump forward. Notice how my arrows jump backwards. So the trickiest part on here is going to be numbering our timeline. So let's just practice that. I'm going to just draw my line here. And I'm going to go from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Okay? And so in the middle is going to be 12 o'clock. And I usually try to do my o'clocks. And then I know that halfway is 11:30. And then halfway here is 12:30. I want to do my big numbers first. And then within here, that's 30 minutes. So I need to have, this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, another hour for 60. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, an hour. So maybe just practicing those. And so remember, this would be 11:05. This is 11:10. This is 11:15. This is 11:20. 11:25. Now, if we start writing our numbers on each of the lines, it gets a little messy, so I would just recommend doing your big numbers and then making sure that you count by fives here. We'll be practicing some more of those story problems together.